Frank, what a turnaround in this game. What a second-half performance from United.
Yes, fantastic. Fantastic. I was very worried, 2-0 at halftime. I said, wow, that's going to be a disaster and Craig's going to be over the moon. I'm just teasing you, my man. But really, I saw that second half. I said, well, that's not the same man. It's not the same team. It's definitely not the same spirit. And it's what we are looking for. I mean, I like the fact you mentioned the way that teams are playing now with the building up, from the back, take the time, being precise. But I like the football with the spirit, with the intensity, with the pace that they showed during the second half. Like Newcastle does and did last season. It's the way I see my football, the football that I love, that the football I'm ready to pay to be entertained. And that's what I saw the second half. Everybody involved, everybody spot on. Yes, it's demanding, but it's what people want to see. They don't want to see something slow. They want to see something with spirit, with men capable of fighting against 11 other men who are maybe keeping the ball but not doing anything. And it's what happened. The Villains, they handled the first half easily because Manchester United didn't do anything. And when Manchester, as Craig mentioned, put everybody 15 yards upper on the field, it changed everything because the aggressiveness came up with the intensity that they put. It's what I like. It's the football I like. It's maybe tiring, but it's the way and the only way you can cope with teams like Villa, but also Manchester City or Paris Saint-Germain some years ago. You have to press the opponent.
What a moment, Jules, for Rasmus Hojlund.
Incredible, and you saw with the celebration how much we often say the cliche sentence is how much it means to him or to the fans, etc. But I think this time it was fair because, like Craig said, he had never scored yet in the Premier League. He had five goals in the Champions League, of course, but in the Premier League there was just nothing there. And for him to score that goal at that time as well, so it's not like if they were 3-0 down and he scored a consolation goal. This one, he knew at the time was potentially the winning one too. And you saw, I mean, his face became so, as red as the shirt almost. I thought he was going to explode his face at some point. But clearly all that kind of anger and frustration came out at the same time. And it's good, it's a really good finish. It's a number 9 finish because he was aware, he was on his toes, the ball bounced off a defender and then he was there. Maybe slightly lucky, but still, the way he hits it, but it was just there, perfect. And we've said before that the service has been quite poor to him, especially recently against, in the last game, he touched the ball, I think, once away at West Ham in the West Ham box for the whole hour that he played on the pitch, which is not good enough. And tonight, there were a couple of times where he was involved, bad touch, poor ball, things like that. But that finish and that goal, I think, will be a massive boost.
We saw Onana, of course, join in those celebrations, running the length of the pitch. What did you say, Shaq?
I wasn't doing that. That's a long way back. It's all fun and games running here to celebrate. When you hit that half line, you realise, goodness me, I still have a long way to go here.
Yep.
That's tiring.
I thought it was big, but I didn't think it was quite that big. It was a big goal for the young man, but not. But I think you can go to the other end of the field as well, particularly in the second half, and say, look, Garnacho with his goals, Hojlund with his goal. Rashford looked better, and yeah, they pressed. But at half-time, when Ten Hag said, look, we can't set off this side.
Right.
We just cannot set off this side. We need to go and force mistakes. And when they do that, that's leaving Raphael Varane, who has been out the side, and Johnny Evans, who's, I don't know, what's Johnny Evans, 36, 37? But that's definitely leaving them potentially more exposed to one of the hardest guys to handle in the Premier League. Certainly this season in Ollie Watkins. And I thought, although they didn't have to do it too many times, I thought Varane and Evans, bearing in mind, Varane hasn't played a lot recently and Johnny Evans, I've talked about his age, I thought they did a really, really good job on Ollie Watkins in the second half. We barely saw Ollie Watkins in the second half, and whenever I see Villa play, he's a nightmare for defenders, an absolute nightmare for defenders. So I thought they did a good job as well, but they can't afford to have the type of performance that they had in the first 45 going forward because they'll get beat. And so he somehow has to take this, and I don't know if he can or not, because we saw a very good performance against Chelsea, although Chelsea are not as good a side as Villa. it was still a big game, and we saw a United side that created 28 efforts at goal. They worked hard, they pressed, they had energy, and then after that game at Old Trafford, it sort of went away again. Ten Hag cannot afford it to go away again, then, because 3 or 4 games down the line, if it has, he's going to face the same questions again.